Hello, everybody. Happy weekend. Welcome to my live for today. So, what is the subject matter for live for today? Well, I thought I would talk about the EB-5, but focus on the regional center and difference between that and a direct investment so that it makes it clear what those are. So, I'm going to answer all of your immigration questions after. So go ahead, type your immigration questions. Let me know what you want to know about, and I'll answer them. Not right when you type it, but I'll go back after I'm done talking about the EB-5, and we will then go from there. So let's begin. So what is the EB-5? Okay, well, first of all, it's an investment visa. Okay, so if you have a lot of money, EB-5 is the way to go. Okay, but a lot of people who do the EB-5, they don't want to really run their own company. They haven't run their own company. They, for example, might want to come here and sort of retire. They might want to do other things. They don't want to spend the time building up a company, running a company, and so forth. So just so you know, in order to do an EB-5 investment, that's for the green card, by the way. In order to do an EB-5 investment running your own company these days, you're going to need $1.8 million. Okay, that's almost $2 million. That's a lot of money and a lot of time. Okay, and if you take immigration out of the equation, you have to say, okay, if I put this amount of money in and I run this company, will it be successful or is there a good chance? Okay, you always have to take immigration out of the question to see if it'll be a decent investment, because the reality is, if it's not, you're going to lose your money. Okay, so given that a lot of people don't really want to run their own company and deal with the hassles of hiring and firing and payroll and accounting and, all the stuff that normally goes with it, they have what's called a regional center, okay? And I know a lot of people have heard about that, but they're unclear what it is. So let me tell you. So the EB-5 makes it so if you invest in a regional center, number one, you're going to need a lot less than $1.2 million. Okay, you're going to need around $1 million. And then, if the regional center happens to be in a targeted area, which is either rural or, basically low economics in that particular geographic section, you can invest even less. Just so you know, the least you're going to invest is $900,000. Okay. So given that, you can invest about half as much in a regional center, and you do not have to run your own company. You don't have to do the day-to-day. You don't have to prove that there's going to be 10 employees. You don't have to even go to work every day. You can go on the beach and relax if you want. Okay? So what is a regional center? Well, it's kind of what it sounds like, but a regional center, just imagine that it is a section of somewhere. Okay, let's talk about like the one by LA Live. So if you've been there, you know that LA Live is a hopping, jumping, happening area that has all kinds of stuff. And recently, over the last few years, they built a bunch of big condominiums all around it. So, tourists and travelers and vacationers and business people and all that can get a condominium now, be basically across the street from LA Live, and you can conduct business, you can have fun, you can see basketball games, whatever you want to do. And so that section around LA Live was designated as a regional center, meaning that immigration approved the plan to allow EB-5 investors to pool their funds in which to build all these big condominiums and these big places for people to come and live. Okay? So, given that, that means that when you put your money in there, 900,000 and, or $1 million, right around there, that if it works and you're approved, you don't have to do anything. You're like a silent investor, okay? I mean, let's get down to it. They just want your money, okay? So you don't have to run the company. You don't really have any say in the way the company's run anyways. You don't have to do anything but invest. And you can do whatever else you want to do. And if it works and the investment pays off, you may get your money back. You may make a profit. You may lose some. You may not get any of it back. But that's why, again, you'll do your research. You will determine if this is a good investment for you. And if so, you'll go the next step, take the investment, and invest in the regional center. And before you know it, you may have your green card. And the good part about the regional centers, if you use the example, for example, right around LA Live, you're going to get sky rises that are going to go up. You're going to have, vertical real estate like you wouldn't believe. You're going to have investments go through the roof. You're going to have people that are going to come and buy, the various condos, and it's going to invest in the infrastructure and the economy and so forth. So it's really a good thing all the way around. So the regional center, for all intents and purposes, is for people who want to come on an EB-5 but don't want to deal with the hassle of running their own company and want to invest half as much money. Okay? And again, if you happen to get a regional center in a, quote, targeted area, which for all intents and purposes, either low income or rural area, you can invest even less. So you do your research, you find which regional center you want to go in, and voila, afterwards, you're able to do the EB-5. Okay, it is a very nice way. Now, it doesn't mean you're still not going to get a conditional green card. And it doesn't mean you still don't have to file the petition to remove the conditional residency. But at least with the regional center, you can sit back, enjoy, and let your money work and have the petition filed without having to do all of the stuff that people do when they normally run their own business. I mean, some people may want to do that, obviously. And if that's the case, well, then this is not for you. But for all those people who don't, this would be for you. Okay? So that's the basic spiel on the difference between the direct investment EB-5 and the regional center. Okay? So let me see if we have any questions here yet. I know I saw one that said, what's for breakfast? That's not really an immigration question, but if you have some, I'll have some lox and bagels. I like that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's a little bit cold where I am today. Let's see. Let me just scroll down. The EB-5, by the way, there's been other countries that I've looked at their regulations and what they need, and it really is just a matter of dumping money there, and the next thing you know, you have the green card. Way easier than here. Way easier. It just goes to show you. Okay. Let me just scroll down, see if we have any questions here. So we have a lot of people joining, but not a lot of people with questions. Sometimes that happens on the weekends. You just want to sit, relax, learn a few things. You don't want to deal with all the nitty-gritty of the questions and all that, which is fine. I just hope that, Okay. Good morning, Mr. Brian. How long to get a green card from the U visa on these days? A very long time. Okay. Now, I know that that's a little ambiguous, but it's taking near a decade. Okay. And I know that seems like forever to you, but a lot of times with the U visa, believe it or not, some people will qualify, for example, with a waiver of a U visa, whereas they will not qualify for anything else, even if they're married to a U.S. citizen. I've done cases of U visas where they're victims of crime. They've got the U visa approved, but they're aggravated felons, okay? And some were married to U.S. citizens, and they don't qualify for any waivers, but they do for the U visa, okay? And ultimately, they can get their green card based on a U visa waiver and the U visa even being an aggravated felon. So I don't know when you filed, but again, it's a very long time. So if anything else comes about you might qualify for, you should take it. It's like two horses going around the track. Because a lot of people say, well, I have a U visa pending. I can't file for anything else. And that's not true. You can have a U visa, and if you qualify for the employment, family, adjustment, whatever, they don't care. Okay? So it's just a matter of, doing what you need to do. And the first one that crosses the finish line wins. Okay. Can I travel outside the United States for 3 weeks if I just filed for the N400? Well, the answer is yes and no. Okay. First of all, just because you filed for the N400, which is for naturalization, that doesn't mean that you qualify. That doesn't mean you might not be inadmissible. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you committed some crime and after you got your green card, but before you filed for naturalization. If you did that, then you may not qualify to naturalize. And if you leave and come back, they will see that. And you might end up being classified as an arriving alien, put in detention, and them trying to put you in, fight removal proceedings in order to just keep your green card, let alone become a citizen. Next, there's a physical presence requirement, okay? And I have no idea if you meet that or not. If you're on the edge of it where you have just barely met the amount of days and that you have been in the U.S., well, then, if you travel and you go over that limit, well, then that means you're not going to travel because it would get you over the physical presence requirements, thereby making you ineligible. Okay, but if none of that happens, then you're not inadmissible. Sure, you can travel out for 3 weeks. Can I book you for consultations? The answer is yes, no problem. You can either call my office, and I could give the number here, but what's the use of giving the number? Because number one, you don't have a pencil on you. You're not going to remember it. So all you have to do is go to my contact information anyways. You'll see it. You can also self-schedule. Okay, I have people self-schedule appointments. Goes to the calendar and so forth. And I have all kinds of different consultations. I have just pure email consultations. I have telephonic consultations, Skype, Facebook, Zoom, Live, whatever. It's kind of nice being an immigration lawyer in this respect because in one day I can give consultations around the world in all different time zones. My time zone's the same. Everyone else's is different. Help a lot of people. Okay. Well, let's see. It says, thank you so much for answering my question. This is based on a question that was answered above. You applied since 2018. Well, see, 10 years is not that far away now, right? It wasn't 10 years back then, so it depends what the priority date is. Like if you apply and get it right now, it's about 10 years, but from 2018, it's getting close, okay? Relatively close, so hopefully you haven't made yourself inadmissible. Hopefully you qualify. If you're still waiting for the approval letter, they might not send the approval letter. You know that, right? It's not guaranteed. If it were guaranteed, there'd be no reason to put all the work in and applying in the first place. So hopefully you will get it approved. If not, it's going to be an issue. Okay? And so that is essentially the live for today. Actually, I have to go out and fix some stuff. So if anybody has any last-minute questions, let me just make sure. I'll be happy to answer. Oh, you got a letter saying your fingerprints are waived. That's good. That means they believe you, that you haven't committed any crimes. Okay? That's not always the case. Immigration doesn't believe a lot of anything. So if you got a letter saying your fingerprints are waived, you're crystal clean, okay? No crimes, no issues, so you probably have a real good, clean N400 case, all right? But I would make sure before you leave just in case. It would be a shame if you left and then you put yourself outside of qualification just because, you wanted to go visit Disney World or something. Can you process EB-3 for my brother outside the States and how long? I mean, the answer is yes. EB-3 are employment-based visas, okay? And an EB-3 is a third preference, employment-based visa. You need to have a company sponsor you. And there's different categories, unskilled, more than 2 years experience or bachelor's degree and so forth. And you certainly don't have to be in the U.S. while it's processed. A lot of times you can't be in the U.S. because you have no legal status while it's processing. So not only can you process it, but if your brother's outside the U.S. and he has a company willing to petition him, he should go for it. Okay, it should be started. Now keep in mind the first part of that is the perm, and the perm must be paid by the attorney. The perm must be paid by the employer, okay? That'd be funny if the attorney had to pay for it. So your brother can't pay for it. You can't pay for it. The employer must pay for the perm process and for the advertising fees, okay? So that's that. All right. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this live. A little bit short today, but if you got one thing out of it, you're doing good. Okay? Go ahead and send me whatever questions you want after. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, everybody enjoy your weekend.